Hello everyone, this video will cover Module 8. Module 8 is the annotated bibliography module. So the previous module you did some brainstorming and you decided on your research topic. Now you need to go back and check on that research topic proposal to make sure that what you're proposing will work for the assignment. So I try to go in pretty quickly and even as students turn them in, try to give you some feedback on it. And then you're going to start doing your research and come up with your annotated bibliography. So the main assignment is that annotated bibliography. You can see I have more links in here. I do have a link straight to the page in the textbook that is about preparing an annotated bibliography. I also have links to the library databases and the website for the library. If you are an Iola campus student, I highly recommend actually physically going to the library and checking out books. If you are somewhere else, look at your local library, see if they have books. The annotated bibliography, the point is to get a huge variety of different types of sources, because we're going to narrow that down as we start to do more research for the research paper. So we want as many different types of sources as possible. One of the criteria for this assignment is to represent at least 4 different types of sources. Now they can be all online sources, but I always encourage students to find something in print if you can. Basically anything with words, anything that's an image, all of those types of things could be potentially used as a different type of source. You can even do a personal interview if you want, or create a survey, something like that would be fine. So if you remember, you have 3 options to display your research. You can either go the traditional route, or you can do the AI route, or you can do the visual route. So all 3 of these are the requirements that you start off with. And so that introductory paragraph will be there regardless of whether you do a traditional or an AI or the visual. You can see the example that I have here. I've only done a couple of sources, but I've included my introductory paragraph. It's not letting me get in. But I've included my introductory paragraph in there once you see the example. It's probably not letting me get in from my student view. Anyway, we get that introductory paragraph as well as MLA citation, and then for each source you need to include both summary and evaluation. So summary would be what is it about, and then evaluation is how is it trustworthy? How is it credible? Credibility and usefulness. We've got the CRAP method that you can use as well, really useful acronym to think about. And then I do have this example annotated bibliography that you can follow if you want to do the traditional version, which to me this is probably more useful than the other 2 unless you're really a visual learner. Then doing a traditional is a little bit more useful. You'll encounter these in other classes as well. But basically this is kind of the introductory paragraph. The introduction is to the annotated bibliography, not to a research paper. So I'm expecting you can use those announcement style sentences if you want to. You don't need to include anything beyond just like the basic contextual what are we talking about type information. You do not need a hook. You don't need a thesis. None of that is like what you're going to do for your research paper. We're doing that later, so don't even worry about it yet. So then this is an example of an annotation. You can see I've got my MLA citation, and then I just launch into this article. So I tell the reader what type of source it is, and then what are the like main ideas that it covers. I put that it's fairly short, it's organized, clean headers and numbers. My paragraph kind of mixes both summary and evaluation comments because I want to include things like how easy is it to navigate, and what are some of the positives and negatives of using this source. But I also want to include, like, what is it about, so that I remember as I go back through my source list, which ones are going to be the most useful for me. So you can see that I've included both types of comments, but my paragraph is fairly short. So I'm not writing a whole lot about each source. And this is a second example here. I think I only did 2 sources, but you can just see how short they are and how specific it gets. They're mostly broader, more general sentences, but I'm really focused on what does the source say. I'm not making my own argument. I'm not trying to write a paper. I'm not trying to, synthesize ideas from different sources. This is what the source is about, and this is why it's credible or trustworthy or not, depending on how you view it. So like this one's from a pop culture magazine, but it's a section called Science of Us. The author's a journalist, so just kind of journalists tend to be not real, they don't tend to be experts in any one area. They just kind of are overall, they know how to write, so they know how to find information and put it together. So that kind of thing. You don't try to overthink this assignment. That's typically the problem that students have, is that they try to make it more than what it needs to be. It should be simple. It should be straightforward. You should be doing the types of sentences that you wouldn't write in an essay, that kind of thing. So the I will type sentences. If you choose to do the AI option, make sure that you are spending a lot of time on this analysis. So the majority of your grade, this is a 100-point assignment. You're not getting 100 points just for being able to put something in AI. You're getting 100 points for being able to accurately and completely analyze the response. So make sure this is not the easy option, okay? This is the response that requires you to actually go through each source and decide whether or not it's an accurate portrayal of that source. So this may take you longer. The visual one is a lot less writing, but it does require you to do some more clicking. So it really depends on kind of, if you're a visual person, you might like this option a little bit better. So anyway, those are the 3 options. I've covered them already, but making sure that you are really aware of which one you've chosen. If you have questions about them, let me know. A couple of things to think about. I do have some more information about using databases. I always recommend students use databases. If you are a Wikipedia type person, I highly recommend going to this Credo reference database, because this is the type of source where it's just a bunch of encyclopedia sources, and they're all pulled together through this one database. And so it's really easy to find good information that's just kind of basic stuff that you would find on Wikipedia, but it is, peer-reviewed, good information. We know it's good because it's through a database. So most information on databases is going to be considered really credible. So if I'm just searching for dinosaurs, it's going to give me lots of different articles that I can look at. And sometimes it'll give you, I need to use this one more option. Every time I go in here, it looks different. They've changed the way it looks. You can see different types of databases, different resources that you can use, and all of the database sources that you can find through the Allen Library will give you the citation, which is really nice. So that's in there for you as well. And then there's also just a link to the website itself for the library if you want to check out the card catalog, and then the spot to actually turn in the annotated bibliography. And then your midpoint reflection is last. So Module 8, we are at the end of the first half of the class, which means we're at the midpoint of the semester, and so I'm having you do a short reflection, just thinking about whether or not you're meeting the goals for the class, whether or not you are, what's challenging, what are you taking away from it, that kind of thing. Is there anything I can do to help you, that kind of thing. And then you do have a chance to do a survey. You have a chance to do the same survey at the end as well, which is for extra credit. So if you have questions, be sure to send me an email. Otherwise, have a great week.